Okay, so I just want to thank the sponsors in case I forget. And then we're gonna give some mics over to you guys. To you ladies and gentlemen, I mean. Sorry. And also, thank you, gentlemen. There's a few of you here. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you to the AV team. Thank you to the beautiful audience. Thank you to Emirates Airline, our sponsor, our founding partner, Dubai Culture, our parent organization, the Emirates Literature Foundation, and thank you to everyone who could make it. Second thank you to you. Could we get a mic to the audience now, please? Yes, please raise your hand if you have anything to say. All right, yes, let's start with, no, if.
Hi, I was in the journey with Jane Austen. I'm from Lebanon, and I became an avid reader of English literature because there was civil war and there was no TV, no radio. The only time you could spend your time is in the novels, and that's how I got to know. But I have one friend who's really crazy about Jane Austen. One of her wedding gifts was the complete works of Jane Austen in a purple cover, beautiful binding. When I used to have faith in online dating, my status would be looking for Mr. Darcy.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and me and my friends used to go to Bath and see where Jane Austen did this. I just wanted to ask, I'm really curious, how did you get a picture with Colin Firth? That's the most important thing.
I know, right? Okay, so I think I was about 19 or 20. Okay, wait, what was my age? I remember that it was raining, my hair was wet, so I actually made it black and white because I looked like a fright. This is before his Oscar. He was easier to track down. I was in London, and there was a play on, and I went to see it. I was waitlisted, and then they said I could stand and watch. Then I went to the pub next door. He was there. I acted really cool, you know. I talked about my internship with Merchant Ivory and all that. I said, oh, I read the script and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that script went to Ray Fiennes, but I talked to him for well over half an hour. I know, and I said, oh, I have to go now. Can you imagine? I know. Oh, well. And he's very funny. He's nothing like Mr. Darcy. Like, he's very relaxed and animated. Any more Colin Firth comments? No, I'm kidding. I'd love to hear your insight. You know, how did you get started, and what do you enjoy, and what does it mean to you? And it doesn't have to be anything profound. It can be a funny story. I love what you shared. Thank you so much. I hope you don't mind. This is going to be available on YouTube as well. So yes, please. And please also, you have some fans, take some photos. I've got some props if you want to use them. Got a top hat as well. Got a bonnet. That's it. No questions? Oh, come on. Oh, yes. Okay. We've got 2 questions over here, or comments, or insights. Thank you very much. Who'd like to go first?
Hi, it's not a question.
Okay, good.
One flight I was on and looking for something to read, and I came across Lady Susan. And it blew my mind. I'm not sure, I don't think it's very popular per se, but the whole book, the novella, a full form of letters, it really, really blew my mind. So I just wanted to share. If you've not read Lady Susan, I loved it.
Yes, so this is Love and Friendship adapted into Lady Susan, which is a film by Whit Stillman. But yes, Love and Friendship is part of her juvenilia. She wrote it when she was very young, imagine. And you know what's really tragic is she was so witty and she was so naughty. She had so many letters she wrote to her sister Cassandra, but Cassandra chose to burn them. She kept the most, I would say, PG letters. She kept those around, but the most exciting letters, they were burned. So we'll never know their contents. We did have a couple more hands up. Yes, okay.
Hi, my name is Nandita. And I came out of curiosity to see why somebody would pick such an obsolete topic. And it's been a wonderful session. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you. I just wanted to say that sometimes you feel an affinity with particular authors, like you do with Jane Austen. I felt that with Charlotte Bronte, who wrote Jane Eyre and all of that, and who was all about unrequited love and also the wild, tumultuous emotions. I secretly think maybe in some form there is a reincarnation kind of thing happens. I believe in that. Do you? And do you think maybe you are a reincarnated form of Jane Austen?
Oh, there's no way. I mean, I'm not even a 0.005% of her genius. But I'd like to think if she was alive, perhaps we'd be friends, you know? I do love the Regency era and every period drama, and I do love the classics. Thank you. And do you still think it's obsolete? Really?
No,
Come
no.
on.
No, to a lot of people it is.
Oh, but there's so many memes, and that's why I showed them, because it's still so relevant. But yes, of course, it is two and a half centuries ago for sure. Yeah. Who wants to go next? What a nice group this is. Oh, we have another comment. Okay.
I'm an English literature student, so maybe that's why. One of the memes you showed about the skeletons waiting for Mr. Darcy, I had it a number of times on Facebook, actually, and so many women liked it. And even I have some English literature friends, and we're always talking, when are we going to find Mr. Darcy? And we start talking, having conversations about it, kind of like what you did in your book club. And just an anecdote about how literature, maybe John Austen is about, talking about is about love relationship. In my English literature class in the American University of Beirut, we never, it was 99% women, and the men who would wander would be in engineering or medical, trying to find the women to marry or something. So literature was their way into trying to get into marriage. And the English literature students would go and study in the medical engineering library for them to go and find engineers and medical students. And it was so bad that once a teacher stood in class and she said, "Are you here to study or are you here to get married?" And I was like, "No, not me."
That's incredible. Will you write about that? Please write about that. I think that's incredible and hilarious and profound at the same time. Wow, look how she brings people together. Would anyone else like to share some insight or anecdotes? I feel like taking you all for tea now. I don't want to let go of you.
I'm the eldest of 5 daughters and her son too. So I completely understand everything she was going through, everything she was writing. You can understand there were so many parallels between both our worlds, and my family never understood why I was so obsessed with all of her novels. But I just wanted to say I found my Mr. Darcy. That's
Oh, that's amazing. Is he here? Uh-oh. Mr. Tilney would have been here.
Oh, yes.
Who'd like to go next? Yes? Yes, please. And I would like one of our gentlemen to speak as well. I mean, were you dragged here by your other halves, or you are interested? I'd love to hear it. Okay, please.
I actually have a bit of a question. My journey with Jane Austen starts with my mother and sister, who were both avid readers.
Please speak up a little bit.
Yeah,
Yes.
both my mother and sister were avid readers of Jane Austen, so I sort of picked it up by default. It was not really, the books were lying around the house. I in fact have a copy that came from my great-grandmother, published sometime in the 30s. But my question actually is, what do you think of Bridgerton? What do you think of the whole Bridgerton phenomenon?
I think Bridgerton is a great fantasy. I think it's not meant to be realistic. There's nothing accurate or Regency about it, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's fun. It's not Jane Austen at all. I actually took a workshop here 2 years ago at the ELF with the Bridgerton author. And it was a dialogue workshop, and it was lovely. I was very excited to meet her. I mean, anything that brings people to the written word in the age of AI is great. we just need to have more conversations, write a little bit. When I'm writing something by hand, I sometimes feel like, oh, how do you write again? Because we're so used to typing and using our phones. And I got a gift from my colleagues. It was a quill set. Yeah, I am obsolete, yeah. Yes, there's a question or a comment. Yes, please.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. So, you're from Pakistan, I'm from Pakistan, and all of my cousins, I think, we were all the same age, so when we were teenagers, we started doing option. And we would like tell each other like, hey, that's my favorite thing, and then like general teenage shenanigans. But I read Persuasion when I was like 20, and then I was really like, that letter is just like sticks with you. And then now I just turned 30 recently, and I came back to it and I read it, and I was like, the change, because you relate with Anne Elliot so much more, and you understand exactly what she's going through, and then you read the passages about the youth. But I don't believe my youth has gone off by now, but you understand what she was going through, she missed her chance with this or that. So I think it's really interesting when you go back to Jane Austen if you started at a separate point in your life and like a decade later. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. If anybody else read it at a younger age and might want to read it.
Yes. I'm so glad you brought this up. When I first read Persuasion at 12, I thought, who are these old people? She's 27. No thanks. Oh my gosh. Now I read her, I'm like, every time you read an Austen novel at different times of your life, it hits you differently. Now I actually look at Mrs. Bennet and I think, wow, she had a really hard job. And before I thought, oh, she's so annoying. And Anne Elliot, 27 back then was considered much older than it is today, shorter lifespans, etc. And the fact that she had a second chance at love, that really hit me, especially after my divorce, You can interpret Austen in so many ways at different times of your life. That's the beauty of it. But definitely the social satire as well, because I just like anything that makes me laugh. I cry easily, so I love laughing. Any other insights?
Hi.
Hi.
I really enjoyed your session, and there's a lot of new things I didn't know. I didn't know there was a Jane Austen Society. I'm from the UK, but I live here now, and I'm a head of English at a British school in Dubai. What I find really interesting, just to share with you actually, having taught for 13 years in the UK, and now I work here, there's still a lot of appreciation for Victorian literature, classical literature, and I think it's because the values from before, from the Victorian era, there's there's a kind of in certain societies, and even back in the UK, there's an appreciation for things that are no longer anymore, or certain values that's a lot of different background, whether it's religious, cultural, people still hold dear to their heart. So I think that's why it's still quite popular. And even within our school, in UAE, STEM subjects are very popular, but literature is actually growing a lot more in popularity, particularly among boys. So even last year in our school, we've had a lot more boys take it on. And with classics, I think, again, people enjoy watching that, whether it's, we talked about certain TV shows, but also the books and the relationships. And when things are simpler, I think there's a real nostalgia for that and a real appreciation as well. So I think there'll be, definitely a long, long time for people that still go back to Jane Austen, Charlotte Bronte, and many different types of literature from the Victorian era and times of the past. So yeah, thank you for reviving that as well. It's really appreciated.
Thank you. I'm so happy to hear this because the humanities are shrinking as subjects in terms of in universities apparently. So I'm really happy to hear people are still interested. Yeah, that's great. And yeah, you're most welcome to join. We have meetups, a couple of times a year. We have a WhatsApp group and we're on Instagram. We're also on Facebook, but Facebook is not very active. Would anyone like to take a photo or anything? Could we do a group photo and show the Austen societies around the world that Dubai has a lot going on? Yeah. Thank you.